Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at this thing, the Curio Touch 4S Ultimate Android Handheld, not a phone, for kids. So yeah, this right here is a kid-friendly, not phone touchscreen device that, it's got parental controls, it's got, a selection of kid-friendly applications. It also has an entire app store that you can download stuff from, or had, because this is a little bit old. This was released back in 2013, and it cost $100. It was released alongside 2 Android tablets, and this company is still around today, and it appears that they only sell 2 things: a 7-inch tablet, apparently recommended by the Smithsonian, and what looks like an Apple Watch knockoff, of course both of which being intended for children to use. And this device, it does it all. It can play games, listen to music, watch and record HD videos, it's got kid-safe web surfing, you can message your friends, read ebooks, and it has kid-size earbuds and so much more, except for, the ability to actually make a phone call, which, to be fair, they never called this thing a phone, but I mean, you could just download like Google Voice or something if you really wanted to, make calls over Wi-Fi, assuming that was one of the applications allowed in this app store. However, apparently you can access other popular Android app stores as well, and I would assume that the Google Play Store would be one of them. At least, well, maybe that could be enabled or something. There might be some parental controls restriction that you have to set. And yeah, we're going to be opening this thing up today for the very first time. You can see it is still sealed. I actually had a viewer send me an eBay listing for this not too long ago, and I just bought it because it was actually pretty cheap, and it also came along with some accessories. We've got a screen protector, and we have 2 cases, and you can see, like, this thing is rather large. I mean, here is the iPhone 5C again for comparison, and it's not that the screen itself is that big. It's only a 3.97-inch touchscreen. It's just that the bezels are pretty large from what I've seen in product videos for this. But anyways, let's go ahead and just tear the seal and, see what this thing is all about as I just rip the top of the box there. That's rather unfortunate. Already off to a fantastic start in this MJD video. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just open. Do we have a thing of tape here on the bottom? Yes, we do. I'm going to get some scissors this time. And there we go. So here is the Curio Touch 4S, and yeah, those are definitely some pretty big bezels on this thing. We'll go ahead and set that aside for now and see what else we have in here. So we've got, this is probably the charger, it looks like. Yeah, we have a USB port on the bottom. So there you go. We'll set that aside. We've got this important: do not return to the store. Please contact our tech support, in case, you encounter any problems. I don't think this comes out. It doesn't feel like it. And then we have, well, what do we got here? TG Tune Goggles, on-demand entertainment for kids. Okay, so this is a free trial of some thing. This looks like an app that you can download in one of those 3 stores, and oh, there's a promo code if that is useful to anyone. Probably not. What else we have? The setup guide. Okay, so we very well may have to refer back to this, but we'll see. And last but not least, we've got your charging cable. We have a micro USB to full-size USB adapter, quite nice, and a pair of headphones that I imagine are probably pretty bad. So we'll set all that aside and get to the moment that everybody's been waiting for. You can feel free to stop watching the video after this. Let's do the film peel. And that is probably the best part of this device, certainly so far, because just feeling around this thing, it's definitely pretty cheap. I can see why this was only $100. Compared to an iPhone, it feels like total garbage. Why am I comparing it to an iPhone, you may ask? Well, because kids probably thought this was an iPhone, let's be real. Though that being said, you're not going to care if you got this on Christmas morning as a kid, and it's made of cheap plastic and has these crappy feeling buttons. You're just going to be pretty happy that you got a phone. But you've got a micro SD card slot for expansion, pretty nice, micro USB, and a headphone jack. And do you think this thing has any power in it? Let's go ahead and try and turn it on after all these years. I guarantee you it's not going to have a charge at all. And I probably should have mentioned this before, but this thing has 8 gigabytes of storage, 1 gigabyte of RAM, a dual-core processor, and it runs Android 4.2.2. Alright, we're online. We're just going to use automatic date and time zone, everything looks fine. And we've got 2 modes, normal and in-store. And apparently, if we were to choose in-store, you would have to do a factory reset to revert back to the normal user mode. So we're definitely not going to do that. We're just going to go with normal mode, and we will start the Curio system setup. And it already wants a frickin' email address for the parental contact, so we'll just enter in, I don't know, something random here. And then we choose a security style for the parental account, so this is going to be like to, you know, get into your parental controls, I would imagine. So let's go with the pattern password. And then of course it asks you for your child's name and everything. We'll just put in, I don't know, M. Looks like you have a few different types of profiles. So you got one that allows web access, one that doesn't, an educational profile, or you can define settings yourself. We're going to do that because I just want to see like how customizable that all this stuff is. So let's just do maybe restrict to certain websites. And oh, it's already got some ones in here. Look at that. So we have Fun Brain, Brain Pop Junior, Cool Math, and math.com. You got time management. That's nice for, you know, if you want to block internet access at certain times of the day. And then what apps you want to allow. So this is the first time actually getting a look at what applications come on here. And it definitely looks like we've got a lot of them. We got iHeartRadio. Okay. See if there's anything that I recognize. It looks like most of these are just, well, the stock Android apps and then a bunch of games. Alright, so I've been messing around with this a little bit off camera just to get familiar with it. And big surprise, it works literally like every other parental controls thing that's ever been conceived. I mean, you've got two accounts. The one we just set up was the child account. Then you have a parental account that has full access to everything, and you can, you know, change the child account restrictions from there. So we're in the child account right now. And you see we have a handful of pinned applications here to the home screen. You've got a button here to switch user and to get to your Wi-Fi settings. And the way I've got the browser set up right now is it only allows access to specific websites, but you could go in and change that to, you know, I mean, as you saw, we could have it block web access entirely or just allow it completely. And one thing I am curious, though, is, you know, there was that App Store mentioned on the packaging somewhere, and there it is right there. Can we actually go into the App Store? Okay, version code 11. That's not what I wanted. Network error, check your internet connection. Okay, so do you think that's because we're logged into the child account and that could be an error it throws up? But no, I think it would just say, like, you need to have parental permission to do this. We are on the network. Like, if I go over, I mean, let's just switch over to the parental account. I probably should be in here anyway if I'm going to be doing things like installing apps, because I think that the child account would be restricted from doing that. So we log in. If I can enter the frickin' password correctly, or not password, the code, the pattern, that's the word I'm looking for. So here we are in the unrestricted parental account. So let's go to our apps and scroll over to the Curio App Store, and it immediately crashes, it looks like. That's not good. And I mean, we are on the network. Yeah, I mean, here we are in Google, and we can go to, I don't know, sign in, and just load another page here to show you, like, it's not that we aren't on the network, it's just that that app store, I'm guessing it probably can't connect to the server anymore because it's been down for however long. So that's great. Let's hop into settings, I guess, and see, you know, see what we got going on in here. Oh my gosh, it's been like so freaking long since I've seen this interface. But we'll go to about tablet. Okay, so it actually just identifies it as a tablet, which, I mean, makes sense. It is. This is pretty much just a really tiny tablet. And there it is, 4.2.2. We can do the cool thing where we get the jelly bean. Oh my god, it's, yeah, so okay, we'll get out of that. We want to see if there's any updates. Your system is up to date. Last checked at 5:18 p.m. Well, let's check now. Last check for updates at 5:47 p.m. and that's the current system time. So it's not seeing any updates, or the update server could just be down. Oh, and there's another update application. What's this? Oh, there's a separate, okay. You've got local update or online update. Let's see what happens with online update, if it's able to still connect to whatever server that it pulls from. But that's interesting. I guess, you know, they just got this separate update application for doing that. So that's probably why the built-in Android one doesn't do anything. Of course, the question is, will it be able to actually pull updates from this? I mean, they still make Android tablets today. At least I think that they're Android tablets. So maybe they pull from the same update server. Unknown error. Yeah, okay, that's pretty expected. So we could do a local update And, you know, if you had like an SD card popped in. Okay, well, not surprisingly, if you go to Curio's website today, they do not have a listing for the old 4S tablet thing under their support tab. So you see, these are the two devices they currently sell, and then they have some other products here, and you can see none of them are what we have. I was able to find, through the Wayback Machine, an old page that talks about an update for the 4S, but when you go to download it, it asks you for your serial number. So for whatever reason, they didn't just make the update file available. So, I mean, there's no way that this page was captured, because I have to go in here and put in a serial number, and I can try to put in, you know, just some random stuff and press enter, but it's just going to reload the download page. And I wasn't able to find a download link anywhere else, so that basically means that we're stuck on the version that we have, unless somebody out there just so happens to have an old update file that, you know, they downloaded back then for one of these things, which probably isn't very likely, because Curio says if you actually go to this download thing, or I guess it's not through there, I think it was under support, they pretty much tell you to try to do it on the device itself. Oh, here it is right here. It was this update button on the main page, because of course. And if you go there, you get to this page where it says, good news, a new update is available over the air. And it has Google mobile services for the 7S, and then it was coming soon to the 4S and the 10S. It improved video streaming system stability. But this is the main thing, Google mobile services, because that let you get the Google Play Store to where you could download apps from there. But they tell you to do it over the air. And then down here, if you want to get the zip file and do it manually, you'd have to enter in your serial number. And I mean, I could try to put in my real serial number, but it's not like that's going to matter, because this download button is just going to do the exact same thing. From the way that the Wayback Machine is, this is like a form that you're submitting, and, you know, it doesn't have that, like, all archived. So this download button, you can see when I hover over it, there's no, like, link that it's going to here. Like, it's not a regular hyperlink, so it just reloads the page. So basically, we're just stuck on the version that it's currently on, so we're going to try to make the best of it. Another quick thing I should mention, I did see a couple people post on the XDA forums about rooting this thing, so we could try to do that, but if I'm going to go down that route, I would just rather save that for a separate video and just explore the stock, you know, or not really, I guess this is kind of stock Android, you know, it is modified, but the overall interface is just your, you know, traditional unmodified Android, just with these additional apps and like parental controls stuff installed. And speaking of parental controls, that's where we're going to hop into first, because this is like kind of the main thing that this device does and what sets it apart from your regular, I mean, I keep wanting to call it a phone, but it's not. But this is what you saw before. We can go in and, you know, mess with our profiles here. We can change the internet access mode, profile info. We can set time management. I'm actually curious how this behaves if we turn this on and just set like, yeah, apply same settings to the entire week. We'll just have set the maximum playtime for your... Well, that's a typo. Yeah, here we go. So let's just do it like start time and end time, 6 to 7 a.m. And then we'll save that. I guess that saved. So now if we try to log in to the other account, yep, there it is. Time allowed for using Curio is over. The profile is locked, and according to the time management settings, a parent can change the time control settings in the parental area. We've also got customer service. We can contact them. Well, we can report a bug. Look at that. Of course, there's a network error, so that's not going to work. Now, there is a store button in the parental thing, the parental area, and there's Curio Store, and then download other Android app stores. So let's see if we can launch it from here. Of course, we can't. It just does the exact same thing. We get that version code and then check your internet connection. So download other Android app stores, and that just gives us a web page not available thing. But yeah, that's where most of your time would be spent if you were the parent that was, you know, setting up this device with the restrictions that you wanted. I guess we can take a look at some of the pre-installed applications on here, because there's definitely a lot. Obviously, you got, you know, the stock Android stuff. You've got the settings application, the clock, the browser, calculator, calendar, camera. I guess we can take a photo. There you go, little brief impromptu camera test. We've got, I'm trying to find like, I don't know, something interesting. I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to do a little bit more with like updating this and trying to download applications to it. We could, of course, sideload stuff, but the thing is, we're just going to be limited by the, the version of Android that we're running. This is super out of date. So we're not going to really be able to run any new software on here. Oh, we got a sound recorder. We could test out the pretty terrible microphone.
Hello! Oh my gosh, you can see that's going up, that peak right there is going up pretty high.
I mean, look, I know that this thing was only $100 and a kid wouldn't care that the microphone was bad quality, but it is kind of fun just to point and laugh at it. But I mean, you can see there's just a whole bunch of I would assume like educational, edutainment titles in here that I guess probably came from, the Google Play Store that they just preloaded on here and then gave you their own app store that, again, unfortunately, we cannot access. And I don't really think there's much more that I can say about the device itself, but I do want to take a look at some of these accessories. Because like I've mentioned, we have a couple things here that just came with the device. And I didn't even really look at the eBay listing that close. I thought it was just for this device in the box, and then all this other stuff showed up with it, which, I mean, hey, that's pretty cool. So these are all first-party accessories. We first have the screen protector kit. It's actually 3 removable screen protectors and a microfiber cleaning cloth with an applicator tool. So it's a little bit torn here, but it has never been used before. That is still sealed. What I'm really interested in, though, are these cases. So this pink one here is definitely sealed, but this one also looks to be sealed. It's just in a bag with some writing on it. 5414, maybe this was an order number or something. I guess that's the date when it was purchased. So let's go ahead and crack this open, and we'll just put this on the phone and kind of see, how much protection that this gives you. It actually, yeah, it's got a stand on the back here, if I can get that out, for propping it up. So that's nice. We'll have to try that out. But this does look like, okay, so this is a 2-part case. So you have a silicone protector, and then you got a plastic thing that it goes into. So we'll just put this on here, make sure that's all in there, and then we'll just pop out the stand. And then it looks like you could use it like this, I guess, or you could extend it out even more. I guess that's how you're supposed to use it, kind of like that. To have it propped up, you can kind of change like at what angle it's being propped up as. It does seem, it seems kind of flimsy like this. I feel like, yeah, that's, I mean, well, still a little bit flimsy. You're not going to want to put a lot of pressure on it. But yeah, or maybe, well, you're probably supposed to do that. Does this lock in here? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It was just out of this track here, but it's supposed to just be in there. And then that, yeah, that definitely, that is propped up a lot better, a lot more sturdy. And then you can, of course, just change the angle at which you're looking at the device. So, yeah, depending on, how you want it. And then you just close this up. This thing is a little bit, like, you kind of got to use a good amount of force to like, get it open there. But yeah, we'll go ahead and take out the Not phone from the case. Now, this one here, I think, is just another piece of silicone. I think it's like this exact same thing. Yeah, those are exactly the same. It's just in a different color. So you could totally use this back plate with this one if you wanted to. So I think I'm actually just going to leave this one in the case just to have, something still sealed. I mean, I'm not going to be selling this or anything. I don't know. It'll go in a bin, maybe get pulled out another time for something. But yeah, I think that is going to just about wrap it up for the $100 Curio Touch 4S Ultimate Android Not Phone for Kids from 2013 I said this was? Yeah, 2013. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, get subscribed, maybe consider becoming a patron or a channel member to get early access to these videos before anybody else. But either way, I just want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.